Mahesh Joshi, Fund Manager, Angel Broking, joins us with his perspective in trade. Mahesh, let's start off with talking PVR. You know, the management can give the market an indication that right now nothing is concrete, nothing is on the table, but the market has a mind of its own, and the premium that the market is ascribing to their growth plans, to their expansion plans, eyeing the overseas market is quite heady in nature.
So afternoon, Tanveer. Don't really want to speculate about what will go on in terms of a stake sale, but largely if you look at their operational performance, it has been quite encouraging so far, and even the content pipeline looks very reasonable. So if you go by what the management has to say in three of their key business verticals, the average ticket prices are expected to stay between that 190 to 200 rupee range with the acquisition of TT Cinemas, which obviously has a higher ATP. On the F&B side, the management is very hopeful of probably increasing that trend from 75-80 odd rupees to anywhere between 90-95 odd rupees. The advertising revenue again I think was a little bit slow in the quarter gone by because of regional content, but going ahead Q2, Q3 you see a lot of Bollywood movies getting released, and the ad revenue expected to grow at a very fast clip. So the business fundamentals probably stay with PVR or the exhibition makers, because even with the passage of GST, a lot of substitution happens in terms of taxes that they're actually paying at the current juncture and not able to avail input tax credits. So to that extent, EBITDA margin expansion is also on the anvil once GST is passed. The only issue then becomes about valuations. So investors probably holding on to the stock from lower levels should continue holding on exhibition stocks. It is clearly in a phase of consolidation, and the capex program that they're embarking about, 60 screens expected to be added every year, internal accruals should suffice. So current valuations looking a little stretched, but long-term investors can definitely hold the stock or holding at lower levels.
Would you buy an Inox or a Mukta Arts or a PVR, Mayuresh?
Again, Neeraj, Inox again similar space. What you're probably looking is the screen addition that Inox is looking at is quite similar, and I think in the big three, it's PVR, Inox, and big cinemas at this point of time. And largely, I think the content pipelines remains very similar. Valuations a lot cheaper compared to PVR. But my own sense is that stick with PVR. If you're holding on to PVR, I will probably look at Inox at lower levels or corrections.
Mayuresh, you know, the other space that has bounced back is construction, right? And with reason, I think some of the smaller infra names, ones which had the arbitral awards pending and the money coming in, has done very well. Yes, Bank Nifty has done well, but I think the infrastructure and construction names. Now my question to you is, for people who haven't quite logged on, because there was disbelief earlier, right? Okay, yeah, such moves have happened in the past, these companies haven't created wealth. Now there seems to be a possibility that some of these bad eggs or slightly disappointing eggs could actually become good eggs as well. What have you recommended your clients to do in the last 2 or 3 days when it comes to this construction space? And we don't want to talk about a Larsen & Toubro. Let's talk about some of the others.
No, again, largely I think with a lot of the recommendations coming through from the Niti Aayog, and if they do get implemented, it's a positive sign for a whole host of these construction companies which have actually got receivables stuck up, or again arbitration awards which are pending. So largely again I think if they start emanating into cash flows coming onto the balance sheet, what it relieves them of is the kind of interest cost and the finance cost that they've been paying. And a whole host of these companies do not have interest cover, Neeraj, which is not even above 1. So that is a worrying aspect for all these stocks over the past so many quarters and years. So the money actually starts flowing through. I think this alleviates a whole host of issues, including reduction of debt. You're probably looking at working capital constraints going down, and with better execution coming through on their stuck-up projects, my own sense is that the cash flows will improve. Now, will that happen immediately? I think one really needs to understand the timelines when the payments will come through and in what proportion, and B, again, I think with what caveats do they come through. So largely, I think this is a story which will get played out meaningfully over the next few years, and sentimentally the stocks have reacted, but I'll wait for the actual numbers in terms of money to flow in and probably some execution starting to improve on their balance sheets. So largely I think we're still maintaining a neutral call specifically on all these stocks which are probably run up. Yes, I think from a trading perspective these stocks can still run up, but fundamentally I think I'd still like to see all these developments probably take place and the shape happening up on the P&L and the balance sheet before we actually take a structural call on this sector.
Okay. Let's talk about the stock of the day as well. And we had the management earlier on Shipping Corporation of India. They have decided to revive that Iranian JV. A couple of months ago, they started sailing to Iran, and SCI as a stock shot up in trade post that announcement. I think the volumes too have picked up. Let Vivek come in and talk about why is it that SCI is standing out and what's the trade pattern today. Vivek.
Absolutely, Neeraj, as you rightly said, clear fundamental reason actually pushing the stock much higher. Stock has actually been quite beaten down. I had a look at the chart, 1 year chart, also the 2 year chart. Stock is well off its peaks and well off its highs. Last 2 sessions the stock was actually down. Today, clearly since the fact that after the company actually came on ET now and told us, they are looking at the option of reviving the JV with the Iranian company post the lifting of sanctions of Iran. And also, what they are looking at is not just Iran, they are also looking at other regions as well. They are looking at countries like Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan as well. And post that, volumes really shot up. Volumes today trading at almost 15 to 17 times its last 5-day average. And if you are looking at it, snaps a 2-day streak, very, very high level. In fact, volumes are at a multi-month high as well. So very strong up seen in shipping of today. That's why the stock of the day.
7% higher for this one. Thanks a lot for that, Vivek. Any trades here, Kunal? SCI. We don't normally talk about it as a trading stock.
Not really any stock. I mean, a stock to trade. Neeraj, I don't see any sort of a trend picking up. Even post this huge volume day, the stock failed to close above the 20-day moving average, even though intraday there was a momentary break of that average, but no decisive closing, no swing breakouts even on a volume day like this. So I would probably skip the stock in terms of a trade.
And then you look at the ADAG pack. I think we're talking about stock movers, and then there are stock movers, and then it's the ADAG pack which has had a fabulous move all of the last few days. So Reliance Capital, Reliance Infrastructure, even Arcom for that matter is in the green, but I think it's just been an unabated move for a bunch of these names as well. And we've heard enough and more trades coming out on these stocks too. Mayuresh, what do you see here? I mean, each of these now have a story of their own to tell. Reliance Infrastructure with all that's happening in infra, Reliance Capital with insurance JVs and the value unlocking done by various groups, and a lot of stories floating around this one too. And is that a good move? Do you guys have coverage here? Are you recommending it?
Again, largely I think we're not covering the stocks per se, but yes, as you rightly pointed out, I think each of these stocks have their individual stories. Reliance Capital, for example, within all the subsets that they probably are functioning, expectations of capital markets doing well, the asset management business, the life insurance, I think that's become the flavor of the markets at this point of time. There are expectations of a few IPOs coming through on the insurance part itself. For the infra part, I think looking at unlocking of a lot of these debt projects, some amount of respite coming in from the banking front in terms of working capital. For Arcom, I'm not really sure at this point of time, because the kind of launch that you probably expected from Reliance Jio in terms of data tariff plans, I think that's going to be very disruptive for the industry as a whole. And though I think the GSM operators are going to find a tough uphill task in terms of realigning their tariff plans, I think the underperformance for the telecom pack will largely continue. So again, I think Reliance Capital looks interesting out of the whole pack as in financial services, and that whole value unlock for insurance can actually play out very meaningfully.
Okay. Fair call. A few stocks that have inched up the last few minutes of trade. In a bit, we'll get in what dealing rooms are recommending in the session today. Look at KSK Energy Ventures. I think it's moved up from the levels that it was at. And then there is Aptech, which at 137 is at a circuit. That's KSK, up about 8%. But look at Aptech. That is up 10% in trade, 137 and counting. Good going on that one. NIIT is the other one at 97, 98. I think has inched up a little bit as well. So on an intraday basis, NIIT is the other one which has done well. I must tell you, Aptech, when Rakesh Jhunjhunwala increased his stake, was at 92 or 93. It gave people ample time to buy the stock also, and this happened less than a month ago. It's gone up 35%. So these days, as we were talking about in the morning, a lot of people are buying into stocks without adequate knowledge of the reasoning as to why it should be happening. We're celebrating a lot of news, such as the trend and the texture of the market currently. Siddharth Bhamre, I know we actually, Aptech is difficult for Siddharth to track. Maybe Kunal, you've tracked it, Aptech. It's at circuit, so now people can't buy it, but I'm asking you for levels that you would look at for Aptech.
Yes, Neeraj. In fact, we discussed the stock a couple of weeks back, and I think the stock has been standing true to its weekly or monthly structure. If you look at it in terms of monthly charts, I think it's trading at almost highs last seen in 2011. So it's a 5.5 year high. The volumes in the last month and this month also so far has been exceedingly high. So it goes to show that the stock is moving with very good participation. And so even on phases of consolidation. So you discussed NIIT Limited, Aptech, even Delta Corp to an extent. Even though the stock has been correcting off late, but I think all these stocks are probably classic cases where you ride the trend. If you've missed the trend, wait for a dip, wait for a sizable consolidation, and that is where you re-enter again, because the longer term trend for many of these stocks seems to be on the upside.
Okay, let's just revisit JK Tyres. I think that stock is in a zone of its own, so to speak. 8.5% higher. I think the rub-off is really on the entire tire basket. All of those stocks are in a frenzy. 145 and 8.5% higher. Still going very strong for JK Tyres. And for CEAT, MRF, some of the other tire names too. The entire, like I said, the sub-pocket within auto ancillaries is seeing a lot of participation. Volumes have also picked up for each one of these names. Even for an MRF at 38,834, that's a $1,600 move, 4% in a single trading session for an expensive stock that's rarely seen unless there's momentum supporting such a move. For an illiquid stock, you don't really see these days coming in too often. But let's get a quick view on what dealers are talking about in the last 10-12 minutes of trade left. Darshan, Yatin have been working their phones. In fact, Yatin is just trying to get some last bits of information from his dealer sources. Yatin, hold it. We'll just come to you in a second. Darshan, you go first. What is it that you're hearing?
See, Tanveer, LIC housing is something that dealers indicated that in the morning there was significant amount of accumulation by a large domestic fund. I believe it's come off the day's high significantly, but a large firm which takes a lot of positional bet was the active buyer in the counter today. Even a lot of flows came into Bharat Forge today. Now remember, we go into a long weekend. Monday also we are off, but during the weekend the Class 8 truck order details will come out, and the bet that some of the dealers have indicated that some of these HNIs have taken is the fact that this time around the number won't be as bad as anticipated. So it's basically playing on the Class 8 truck orders number that will come out shortly. And finally, if you're looking at some of the counters in the tire space, JK Tyres is something that dealers indicate. Positionally, there is a lot of accumulation that is happening. Bhushan Steel is another counter. Dealers indicate that, HNIs are extremely active over the past few days.
Okay, thanks for that. Darshan, Yatin, what are you picking up from your sources?
Well, Yes Bank is the first stock wherein we have seen a lot of FII buying which is coming in. Remember, few quarters back it was sub 1,000, and the kind of returns that the stock has generated in the large cap space is something that we need to talk about. Almost 35-40% is the kind of returns that we have seen in the last 4-5 months, and that stock is still witnessing some interest from the FII desks. Tire stocks needs a mention in trade. Clearly CEAT as well as Apollo Tyres are the two tire stocks which are actively traded in the F&O segment, and in the last 2-3 trading sessions we have seen significant amount of accumulation happening in tire stocks. So dealers are expecting a further 5 to 7% upside from the current levels from the trading side. And in the cash segment, do watch out for GE Shipping, wherein a lot of HNI interest is there at the current market price. Since the last 2-3 trading sessions, good delivery based buying is seen in the counter, and HNIs are expecting a 10 to 15% short term upside in this one.
Okay, thanks a lot for that, both of you. Now, just before we take in closing strategies, must mark two stocks. One of them is, of course, Godfrey Phillips, and I think that one was given as an idea by Kunal Bothra, that is at the day's high. So that's the first one. A good call there, Kunal. And CK Narayan's idea too has worked. This is, of course, Godfrey Phillips. It was the chart of the day, and it was also something that Kunal had recommended at 2:30. So I think either points of time you bought into Godfrey Phillips, you would already made money, up about 8.5% in the session today. So good going for that stock. But let's get in closing strategies from our experts first. And Siddharth, to you first, your top closing strategy.
Not repeating Nifty buy, but then stock specific large cap, most of the stocks have already given. some of the infra stocks like NCC and others are doing well. NCC also have given before. IRB is something which is attracting my attention. After run up from 205 to 235, there was some consolidation, some correction in IRB, and then after taking support at 200 DMA, we are again seeing some buying which is taking place. I'm again anticipating that stock can move towards 240 and then breakout can happen. Go long in IRB infra.
Dr. Narayan, your strategy at this hour?
I would do a BTST for Tuesday, that is on Mahindra Mahindra. I think this is a call which had flashed off, I think, yesterday. It seems to be continuing upward. There was a slight bit of pullback when they announced somewhat softish numbers for the month, but then the stock has bounced back very, very strongly, indicating that that particular piece of news has been brushed aside. And at the current price of about 1470-75, it's actually kind of taking on the overhead resistance and seems to head higher. So my expectation is that we should see 1520 by about Tuesday.
Okay, Kunal, your strategy?
Well, Tanveer, I think a lot of mid caps and large caps are buzzing in action today, but I would want to reiterate Godfrey Phillips. I think it's an excellent chart, because the reason why I say that if anyone is looking at 2015-16 highs, from where the stock corrected from 1600 to a base of 800-820 approximately, from there on the stock had a strong uptrend, went into a multi-month consolidation. Now post this move which you're seeing in the last 2 days, the next resistance which which a sizable resistance which comes at is closer to 1500-1550. So if the stock gears up momentum, I think the first hurdle would be closer to its 52-week high. So I would reiterate Godfrey Phillips even at these levels.
What's closing in at life highs? Just look at those names. Maruti Suzuki 5172. Yes Bank is at 1400 rupees. Asian Paints is at 1170. These are large names which are, in a manner of speaking, at least Asian Paints is certainly not cheap, but still continues to move up, still continues to attract attention. But Yes Bank, what a terrific move it's been. Mayuresh, within the private banks, let me make your task difficult, and you have to give me one name between the three. A Yes, HDFC or a Kotak. Which is the one bank that you would buy, a stock that you would buy from a 12-month perspective?
So I think you indeed made my task difficult, but yes, if I have to choose one, I think HDFC Bank looks far more stable in terms of the branch network, the kind of management commentary that we probably received in terms of their advanced growth, the expectations of NIMs remaining stable, and again asset quality pressures probably not evident on the balance sheet at all. I think it is also true for the other players as well, but again I think the comfort level that the franchise holds, even at such high valuations, I think these valuations premium might just persist. And a clear disclaimer, I think all the stocks within this banking space is something that we might be holding on behalf of our clients.
What a mover HDFC Bank has been. I remember it's now, or maybe Reliance has inched up a little bit, just tell you in moments from now, but somewhere during the trading day today, HDFC Bank eclipsed Reliance Industries as the second most valuable company by market cap, and that is a telling depiction of what HDFC Bank has done all through these last few quarters or years vis-a-vis what Reliance has done. Now Reliance has of course bounced back, but somewhere during the day HDFC Bank eclipsed Reliance Industries. Okay, Yes Bank is fine, but talking about HDFC Bank and Reliance Industries, and that was the kind of move that had happened between the names. However, from a trade perspective, Siddharth, what do you see in Yes Bank?
So Yes Bank, a few days back I had recommended short position and my stop loss got triggered around 1362 or so. Bad call. This is a stock where you should not attempt to give short positions. In fact, there was one day selling where volumes were very high, and then needless to say that just like many months the stock continues to go up.
So are you saying a yes to a yes or a no to a yes from a trade perspective?
I won't confuse traders by getting into that yes no thing. I am not trading in it.
You're not trading in Yes Bank. Okay. CK, one private bank that you would take home from a trade perspective if you were to initiate it right now. 3 minutes of trade left, very quickly.
I think I would stick with the Kotak Bank. That's showing great deal of strength. So here or on dips, I would be happy to own a Kotak Bank for a reasonably long period of time.
Yes to Kotak.
I got that.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. Very true.
Okay, let's start wrapping up the market. And into the last few minutes of trade, sorry about that, you're looking at the indices holding out about 1% plus for the for the broader markets, and for the benchmark also it's 8800 and beyond. The market is staring at in the last few minutes of the session. Adani Port is still holding out, but Bank of Baroda actually has had a very decent show in the session, so 3% up. But look at the third most gaining stock on the index, and you know, we had spoken about this one yesterday. I don't think many on the street could have expected Bharti Airtel to bounce back on above average volumes. I think almost 1.5 crore shares done on Bharti Airtel in the session as we step into close. Yeah, I think that's more than the kind of volume that was traded on the stock on the downside in yesterday's trade. So clearly the market seeing value, at least for the short term, for the medium term on Bharti Airtel. It seems like the intermediate correction in the stock is done for now. We'll have to see how the story plays out from here. The market is not as bearish as it was yesterday on the business outlook, and particularly the prospects of how Bharti will be able to hold out. Idea, I think that would be, you know, even though the volumes are high, you can see on the screens 5 crore shares done. From a level of about 80-81 odd, it's bounced back, but you know, the rebound in this one is not as heartening as the one that we've seen on Bharti Airtel. Maruti Suzuki, Tata Motors, DVR, Yes Bank, we've spoken about it at length. Tata Motors, M&M on the back of August sales numbers, you know, all of these stocks are in focus with marginal gains, but the top stock stories really lie in Adani Port, Bank of Baroda, and surprise, surprise, Bharti Airtel. On to the losers. Reliance continues to feel the pressure today as well, so down about 1.5% off the day's lows. Coal India down about 1.5%. You have IT, which is, you know, languishing somewhere in the middle. But I think the story from at least the index is that HDFC Bank overtakes Reliance Industries in market cap and becomes more valued.
Yeah, so intraday did do that. I think at close maybe the scales have tipped a little bit. It was just a whisker, but yeah, it did happen intraday today. So very, very interesting for HDFC Bank as well. But look at the broader end of the spectrum. RLFS Engineering, Patel Engineering, Gammon India, Hindustan Construction Company, IVRCL, KSK Energy, Punj Lloyd. I mean, it's Simplex Infra. It's all about what infrastructure companies have done in today's session over the last few days. Excellent going. Then come the tire names. So Apollo Tires, Balkrishna, Seat, JK Tire. You name a tire stock. Apollo Tire should also be in the green, I'm sure. I think it's been stunning moves. One of those JK is at 10% higher at 147. And then I think J Kumar Infra was locked on a lower circuit for 2-3 days in a row. I think it's just off that lower circuit, which is good news for it. But Wellspun, I think Wasatch Fund has bought into it in trade yesterday. Today the volumes are about 1 million shares on Wellspun, so watch out for that one on the NSE. It is up about 5% in trade, so some bit of a bounce back that is coming in for a Wellspun as well. That aside, I think there was strength in Aptech, up about 10% in trade, so really good going there. Piramal Phytocare is at 116, up about 20%. Interesting name, but just keeps on going up the last few days. Actually, the 52-week low is 46. It's at 116, so that's really good going for this one. There is strength in Dr. Lal Path Labs, 9.5% higher at 1162, and without a shadow of doubt, at least as per bring up Dr. Lal Path Labs, and you know, Godfrey Phillips, excuse me, just losing out the name. Godfrey Phillips stands out on the charts for experts. I think it's a consensus buy that it's ending in the day's highs, 1355. So everybody who bought into the stock has already made its money, and without any shadow of doubt, the one that stands out in terms of news or just the price movement is PVR. Sheer size out there, continues to move up day by day, week after week, month after month. PVR is on a roll, 1280 and counting. What a move on this one. You know, they say that don't think too much, go out and buy into businesses, the products of which you consume. It's a very commonly used thing, and I've heard this for a PVR, I've heard this for Jockey, and therefore that was the logic given for Page Industries as well at times, that using these products you don't see too much of competition, go out and buy, because even if the stocks are expensive right now, at some point of time they'll become cheap because of the kind of volumes that they'll see. I think it's worked for PVR. Largest player, you think of PVR at most times, or maybe an Inox at times, when you think of entertainment in a city like Bombay or some other places, because the avenues are less. Why not go out and buy the stock? And that's what a lot of people would have done. Look at the money it's made them.
But it's long coming here. I mean,
Yes.
I know in the last 6 months it's doubled from like 600, 700 odd levels. It's gone there. But I remember, almost 10 years back when the listing happened, and for a long time, as they were going through their consolidation, expansion plans, it's also quasi-retail business, right? So they've gone through that pain. But I think the inflection point, if one reads it as an inflection point, has now come.
But also, I mean, I don't know, I may be wrong here, but it's also a case of it being a fragmented market earlier, which has now become a consolidated market in the hands of 3 players at best, probably. So one is PVR, one is Inox, there is Big Cinemas. So 2 or 3 players which are actually dominating the marketplace. So PVR clearly stands out there. Nevertheless, Mayuresh Joshi, before we thank you, let me ask you for one investment idea. We couldn't do that during market, as I don't know why, but I'm sure people are tuned in right now, want to know what should they do on a Tuesday morning, and they don't want to buy into a Nifty 50 name. They want to buy a Nifty 500 name. What is it that you would recommend?
Well, largely again, I think as a theme, what you're liking is the transformer space, and what we've seen from the results so far, I think, has been very encouraging. I think the top line has grown at a very decent pace. The companies there are getting orders, not just from Power Grid, but even from the industrial segment that they cater to. The margins are improving for these orders as well, and as execution improves over the next few quarters, the kind of returns that they can generate and the lowering of their interest and finance cost will help in their capital ratios moving up. So as a space, I think transformers is something that we like. I think companies within this space can definitely be looked at by long-term investors, but on declines.
Ish, thanks very much for joining us and giving us your perspective on trade. Really appreciate your views as always. Let's get a quick round of closing thoughts on how to approach a truncated week next week, because Monday is off, so we're getting into a long weekend. I'll start off with Siddharth. What is it that you recommend, Siddharth?
I recommend to take nice holiday for 3 days rather than trading. Tuesday, I believe one should continue to